Let me start with a question. Have you ever walked into a room and felt like you didn't quite belong, but knew deep down that you had every right to be there? That was me very early in my tech career. I was a very traditional computer science and engineering major. I was the one of the two graduates in my undergrad degree that was a female, and the other girl was more of a tomboyish, and the rest of them are all boys. So I always felt like I didn't belong that very earlier on. So again, that kind of continued into my Microsoft job, where I was often the only woman in the room and most times the youngest, right? People tell me I still look young, but I'm not that young. But people always take that for granted to some degree, I feel. And people would assume that I was there to just take notes and not to lead a conversation or a discussion, and not even in the depth of the technical discussions. So those moments were very tough in the beginning, but they actually shaped me. Today, I wanted to share with you the leadership lessons that I've learned through the journey. I've been a leader for the last 10 years of my 20 years of career in the tech industry. And my hope is really for you to be energized, motivated, and inspired. Trying to go to the next slide. There you go. So leadership doesn't have to look one way. And especially during Women's History Month, I think it's especially important to say this out loud. And I'm not targeting, I know there are a lot of our male allies as well here. I'm just not targeting the women, but you don't have to change who you're to lead. You just have to be more of who you already are. So I think the first thing is lead with your authenticity. Be yourself, not who you think a leader should be. I always had that thought maybe a leader has to be a great communicator or a great at technical depth or great at something. But know that you're like each one of us are also good at something, right? And then you can always mold your other skills. So like your voice, your background, the way you show up, that's all what the world needs from a leadership role. The second one is be empathetical, be calm. Empathy, calm, and trust, they are not soft skills, they are superpowers. They're what make teams feel safe, what make people speak up, what turn good ideas into a lasting impact. And you don't have to be the loudest voice in the room to have the strongest presence. And that used to what hold me back because a lot of people that I worked with, they were always loud. They always shared their opinions. Whereas me, I had to be 100% confident to share my opinions and thoughts. And finally, your values, your principles are not your baggage. They are actually your strength. They help you lead with intention, with clarity, and with courage. In a world that tries to make us doubt ourselves, holding on to what matters most is its own kind of power. So finally, lead with authenticity because when you do, you give others the courage to do the same. One of the most important things I personally learned is, and I still learn, I teach as a manager, as a leader in my organization, is how to advocate for ourselves. And I have to speak for this, especially as a woman, and also some men are from different cultural background where we are often encouraged to be modest, to stay quiet, and to let our work speak for itself. But here's the truth. Your work does not speak as you do, right? That's really the hard truth. So first, speak up for your impact, share what you've accomplished, own your wins. It's not bragging. Like a lot of times we think it's bragging, but it's not. It's a form of leadership too. So when you advocate for yourself, you also make it easier for others to recognize your value, and then in turn they advocate for you too. Second thing is say yes, even if you're only 60% ready. I think a couple minutes ago I said, only when I'm 100% confident, I'm going to open my mouth to speak. And many of us feel that way, right? We want to feel 100% qualified before raising your hand. But the truth is, most growth happens after we say yes and not before. You'll figure it out as you go along, right? You're more capable than you think. And finally, confidence grows with action. You don't need to have all the answers to get started. Take one step at a time. I think that's been the theme that we've heard even in the previous messages. And every time you act, even when it's scary, like you're training yourself to believe in your own ability to rise. So speak up, say yes, keep going, because no one can advocate for you better than you, and you absolutely are worth advocating for. I think we also heard from maybe Gayatri or someone else, lift as you climb, right? So as we grow in our careers and step into positions of influence, one of the most meaningful things that we can do is lift others as we climb. Because the truth is, mentorship and sponsorship matter. Like I've had so many awesome mentors, both women and also strong male allies in my career to make me successful in what I do every day. We all have had such people and helped us believe and we belonged, believe we belong. We opened the door for new opportunities, dropped our name in the room when we weren't in it. So now it's our turn, your turn to go make that for someone else. Sometimes it doesn't even take much, right? One conversation can change a career for someone else. A moment of encouragement, a bit of advice, or just saying that I see you, I believe in you, can really spark that for others. And finally, create ripples and not just results. I think I heard someone else say similar thing the other, like a few minutes earlier. It's easy for us to always keep measuring outcomes because we are so living in a fast-paced world. But the deeper impact we have in the culture we create, the confidence we build in others, and the space we make for voices that are often overlooked, that's what truly defines us as leaders. So your climb is important, but so is your ripple. So lift others as you go and grow, because when one woman rises, she brings many with her. Lastly, just to leave you with some final thoughts as we wrap up here today, I just shared a couple different images there. I want to leave you with three simple, powerful reminders. One is, especially as we celebrate in the spirit of the Women's History Month, first, embrace your story. Every step you have taken, every triumph, every challenge has shaped the incredible leader you're becoming. So your journey is uniquely yours and it's worth honoring, sharing, and celebrating. Second, speak your truth boldly. Progress happens because people like you choose courage over comfort. So your voice carries power. Definitely use it, especially when it feels hard. That's when it matters most. And finally, never doubt that you belong. In every room, at every table, your presence really matters. You bring value, perspective, and brilliance. Own your space, lean into your purpose, and never stop shining. Like I said, I just threw in a couple images there. As these images show, when we show up authentically, we inspire others to do the same. So keep going, keep speaking, and keep lifting others as you rise. I'm just going to leave you with this one quote, like visibility isn't vanity, it's a part of changing the narrative. So never forget that you're part of history in the making. Thank you so much for having me over here.
Thanks a ton, Harini. Own your story,